Web Gateway.
This space is only reserved for people who want amazing results by building sustainable personal brands that actually deliver. How long should your CV be? It's a big debate. How long should your CV be? How long is a piece of string really? Employers receive a lot of applications. They screen your curriculum vitae or CV amongst many others. They create their own shortlist based on their requirements. This seems very obvious, but when you don't know if your CV length is helping you or hindering you, it makes CV sending somewhat of a murky topic. Even if you spent hours putting your CV together, if you are not aware of what an organization wants, you may be getting very little traction. And ultimately, you are sending out your CV to secure an interview, to get an opportunity to discuss your core skills in more detail, find out more about the company, and get employed. Of course, the ultimate goal is to get employed. It is easy to create a concise, well-articulated CV document. Let your CV pack a punch because it translates to more responses. What is the difference that this makes really? If you are new to the employment market, this is probably not going to be something you need to focus on. When you get further down the line in your career, the waters tend to get murky, and then the choice between a one-pager infographic and a long CV comes to the fore. A longer CV detailing the responsibilities of every single job you held can turn your CV into a thesis, and it may not be helping your search efforts. That is not to say that some employers and recruiters are going to refuse your CV based on its length. A good recruiter will be able to coach you on your CV and tell you what to focus on. They will be an asset to you in your search efforts. The risk of a short CV is that you can leave out important information such as interesting projects you've been exposed to, technologies you've mastered, achievements you've made, or interesting work assignments that are mention-worthy. Now, the impact of AI-based search systems, it is important to have a good CV because it is your first, and if not done right, your only interaction with a potential employer. A few common mistakes are being made when compiling a CV, and you want to be sure that you are not making them. AI is bringing about a lot of great elements to make the lives of employers and search consultants more efficient. Several systems use keyword searches to locate closest matches to job descriptions. Now, a few considerations to assist you to navigate this AI-based selection system world. Don't put your CV in a picture format, infographic, or a JPEG. Keywords will be lost, making your CV harder to match to and potentially impossible to find. Do not shorten your CV to the point where employers and recruiters can't find your skills either. So infographics are great, love them, but they should be used as a support to the main body of your text in your CV. Infographics should not be a standalone in your CV and should not be a replacement for your responsibilities and duties. Shorter CVs are not entirely a taboo, as long as they're detailed enough to bring the key message across. To ensure that the key points are included, it's usually best achieved with a consultation with a professional CV writer who knows your industry. If they don't know your industry well, rethink your options. It is a good idea to have a soft industry knowledge question to gauge their understanding. They're not expected to know complex concepts, but they should have a broad enough understanding. So how should I shorten my CV if I've been in the industry for a long time? By now you would have concluded that you need a detailed CV, and this does not necessarily mean a long CV. If you held many positions or you've been in the industry for a while, these are the ways you can successfully shorten your CV. Keep your introduction or cover letter short. The best compiled cover letters I've seen are a summary of your career chronology, touches on your significant achievements, the top skills you've mastered, and your career aspiration, briefly. Keep the design of your CV simple, edit out unnecessary images which take up half the page. keep the past 5 positions or the past 5 years the most detailed in terms of duties, work assignments and projects you've worked on. What this means is that you should roll up or summarize the older positions and duties you held. It's also a good idea to do a ruthless edit on archive technologies that are no longer pertinent to the business world. A skills matrix is an excellent summation of your skills, and if it's kept up to date, it helps you avoid a repetition in your CV and gives the reader a great snapshot of your top skills. If you have a particularly long CV still, bullet point and condense your first few positions you held outside of school. If you're a graduate, please, the opposite applies because you're trying to showcase your skills in the most detail possible. If your CV is still long, critically examine the responsibilities you wrote down. Are they focused on softer skills or your core skills? Did you copy and paste the job description? These are usually filled with softer skills that are not necessarily a good reflection of what you do. Is a 1-page or 2-page CV a bad thing? It's easy to answer this question on your own. Think back to the last few conversations you had with a prospective employer or recruiter. Were they not clear on what you do? Did you have a lot of explaining to do about your core functions and your core experience? If yes, you need to add more detail to your CV and really concentrate on the aforementioned aspects. In essence, you would be applying these tips in reverse, as it were, to add more bulk to your CV. However, if the discussion was more focused on the type of assignments you have worked on and your achievements, your short CV is telling the correct narrative. Final thoughts on the length of your CV. There is an argument for and against the length of your CV. The best way to decide if what you have is working for you is to ask, is it working for me? Think back to the types of conversations you're having about your skills and experience. It also doesn't hurt to have 2 versions and giving the reader the option of which they prefer. They may prefer your shorter CV and just use the detailed version as a reference point. Another question is, am I getting any callbacks? If not, it's not working for you. Please get in touch. We can help.